All right, let's talk about quality improvement studies. I know. The name itself can sound a little dry. A clinical chore, right? But what if we thought about it differently? Let's reframe this. Think of it as a compelling quest. Seriously, it's a structured story where you're the hero, there's a nagging problem you have to solve, and the prize at the end is real, measurable progress. Sound better? Okay, let's dive in. So, this is really the fundamental question, isn't it? It's one thing to think you solved an issue, but it's another thing entirely to prove it. And that's why having a structured approach is so critical. It's what separates a quick fix that falls apart later from a solution that actually lasts. A quality improvement study or a QI study gives you the exact framework to do just that. You'll hear me call this a quest a lot, and that's on purpose, because this isn't just about ticking boxes on a checklist. It's a real journey. It starts with a problem, and it ends with tangible progress that helps your organization and, most importantly, the people you serve. It's a way to create meaningful change again and again. So, where does any great quest begin? Well, it starts with the truth. And when we're talking about quality improvement, the truth is always found in the numbers. You simply can't fix what you don't measure. So, our very first step is to gather the data that's going to be the map for our entire journey. Okay, first things first. Your data collection can't just be a random spot check here and there. It has to be a regular, reliable process. A good way to think about it is like taking a patient's vital signs, right? You do it at specific, defined intervals so you can actually spot trends and get a steady pulse on performance. Next up, your data needs to speak a very specific language, the language of numbers. Vague words like sometimes or often, they just won't cut it. You need hard quantitative values, things like a percentage or a count or a specific measurement. 20 out of 50 is useful. Not enough is, well, it's not. This is what makes your data something you can actually act on. So once you have that consistent quantitative data, you can finally answer the most important starting question of all. Where are we right now? This number is your baseline. It's the "you are here" sticker on your map, the starting point for your whole quest. Without it, you're pretty much just wandering around in the dark. So for our quest today, let's use a real-world example. Imagine our data shows a hand hygiene compliance rate of 80%. Boom. That's our baseline. That's our starting point. Now we know exactly where we stand. With our baseline of 80% locked in, we've arrived at a critical crossroads. The data did its job. It showed us where we are. But now we have to make a choice. We have to decide where we want to go. This is the decision-making part of our journey. So how do we pick our destination? We do it through something called benchmarking. This is how you make sure your goal is actually meaningful and realistic, not just some number you pulled out of thin air. You can use external benchmarks, like national standards, to see how you stack up against the best. Or you can use internal ones, like your own results from last year, to track your progress over time. The SMART framework is a fantastic tool for this. It helps us turn a vague wish into a concrete plan. So for our hand hygiene example, a SMART goal would sound something like this. Increase compliance from 80% to 95% within the next 3 months. See, it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Perfect. And this brings us to a really important fork in the road. If your current performance already meets or exceeds your goal, great. That's what we call a quality activity. You just need to keep monitoring things. But if there's a gap, and in our case, 80% is definitely below our 95% goal, then a full-blown QI study is needed. Our quest continues. Okay, so we've identified the performance gap. Now we get to the heart of the adventure, figuring out why that gap exists in the first place, and then, actually doing something to close it. It's time to shift from just analyzing to taking action. To find the right solution, you first have to diagnose the right problem. Think about it. Is the gap happening because of a lack of knowledge? Maybe the staff just doesn't know the proper hand washing technique. The solution there is education. Or is it a skill issue? Maybe they know the technique, but they can't do it quickly enough. The fix there is competency training and drills. Or is it a broken process? Maybe the hand sanitizer dispensers are always empty. Then you have to fix the system itself. Matching the solution to the root cause is absolutely key. So let's say we figured out it was a process issue and we updated our protocol. We've taken action. Are we done? No way, not even close. Now comes one of the most critical steps in this whole quest. You have to go back and collect the data all over again.
You have to remeasure to see if your solution actually worked. And here it is, the payoff for all that hard work. The remeasurement comes in and shows our new compliance rate is 95%. Success! This chart tells the whole story, doesn't it? We started at 80%, we put a change in place, and we hit our 95% goal. We have objectively, quantifiably proven that our improvement worked. So, we reached our goal, which is fantastic. But hold on, there's one last crucial step. The journey isn't over until you've told the tale. Documenting your QI study is how you share what you've learned, and it's how you make sure this improvement sticks around for good.
Now, formal documentation can feel, well, a little daunting. So let's just simplify it. Think of it as telling a story in 4 chapters. Chapter 1 is the setup. What was the problem and what was your goal? Chapter 2 is the evidence, all the data you collected. Chapter 3 is the action. What did you actually do about it? And finally, Chapter 4 is the result. What changed and who did you report it to? That's it. That's the complete narrative of your journey. And with that story written and shared, you've done it. You have officially completed a QI study. You've gone all the way from identifying a problem with data to implementing a fix, proving it worked, and documenting the whole journey. That is a huge accomplishment.
So, as we wrap this up, the real question is, what's next? Every challenge you're facing is just an opportunity for a new QI quest. This whole framework, it isn't just a procedure, it's a powerful tool for making lasting, meaningful change. You have the map now, so what problem is going to be your next great story?